what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Cigars and Everything Else podcast, episode 40. Yes, now, there is no episode 39, but we on episode 40, if you're paying close attention. It's the mystery episode. Where did 39 go? 39 exists somewhere, but our editor is way too lazy to figure out how to put it together. And it's a collab episode. We were together for episode 39. Hey, man, we're going to have to fire our editor, man. God knows. But episode 39 will come out at some point.
The mystery episode. It's out there. It's floating around somewhere. We'll get it to the public soon, right? One of these days, who knows?
One of these days. It'll be released as the mystery unreleased episode. It might be 2 years from now, but y'all going to get episode 39. Hey, with that being said, we looking at the Sean Kemp episode.
Hey, look, I'm glad you went there. I mean, I already knew it was episode 40. I did not do any searching for numbers. I already knew it. Off gate, Rain Man episode. Going straight Rain Man
episode. There you go. With Gail Sayers, 40.
Nah, Sean Kemp, man. Give me the point.
It's the Sean Kemp episode, baby. Hey, I appreciate having a actual episode dedicated to the Rain Man, because he rained down dunks and he rained down children. One of the greats of all time, man. When it comes to both. He did them both well at high levels. You know what I'm saying?
Put Nick to shame, right?
Yeah. Nick trying to get his numbers up, chasing the Rain Man.
Chasing the Rain Man. But now, man. Hey, look, but one of the stars of the 90s, man, is just kind of get left off that conversation nowadays. But for those that know, they know. If you grew up in that era, you had to be a Rain Man fan, kamikaze shoes, all of that. He was the guy.
You know what? It's funny because it seemed like GP, the glove, get remembered a little more than Rain Man do. And really, Kemp was the man on that team. You know what I'm saying? Like, Peyton was his second man. He was his Pippin.
Yeah, he was throwing the ball. He was getting the steals, getting them out on the breaks, and lobbing it up to Kemp. And he was putting it down. So GP wouldn't have been GP if he didn't have Kemp, man. He would have still did what he did. He had his own skill set, but he wouldn't have, the spotlight wouldn't have been on that team like it was without Kemp.
Why do you think history remembers Peyton more fondly than Kemp?
He stayed in the spotlight more. He stayed visible more. Kemp, he fizzled out of the limelight. He fizzled out of the sports realm, and kind of had his issues, of course. We know about his issues. Right. And kind of just faded to the back a little bit. And I think that's probably why. And Peyton, he stayed more vocal, more in the front, doing interviews still, you know what I'm saying, staying relevant as far as being in conversation.
Right.
So, and then of course he got a chip. He eventually got a chip. So I think that helps out a little bit.
You said an interesting word there, but we'll come back to that. Maybe not. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But what you said, he stayed relevant. But I don't know.
It's a word, right?
It's a word. Maybe we'll revisit relevant, or maybe we won't revisit relevant. I don't know. We'll move on. Let's get to the stars of the show, man. Hey.
Yeah, I'm ready for it.
Payton, I mean, no, not the Gary Payton. Look at me. I'm messing up. I just said, why don't Rain Man get loved? And I call it the Gary Payton episode. He didn't even get that on episode 20.
That was 20 episodes ago.
And we didn't even give it to him. My bad. Look,
we didn't even give it to him.
On the Sean Kemp episode, this is not only the Sean Kemp episode, but this is an episode that's special to me for more than the fact that it's the Kemp episode. It's the Rocky Patel episode. Now, there's only been one other cigar line that got an episode, two other that got a episode dedicated to them. One being Cohiba, two being Gurkha, and that was for scientific purposes, more so than actual enjoyment and respect. And this right here, this is actually one as an ode. It's the Patel episode, and it's an ode to Patel, the same way it was an ode to Cohiba, So,
yes, sir.
Let's get into the stars, man.
Yeah, let's do it. You want to go first? I'm already ready. I don't know if you've made your choice on what you're going to smoke. I've kind of made my choice already. So we can If you want me to go ahead and if you're still.
Let me set the table one last piece to the table. I missed one plate on the table. Mm-hmm. We both got 2 Rocky Patels this week. Neither one of us totally 100% sure up to the point of the recording which one it was going to be. So we said we were going to figure it out on camera. Now, you just figured yours out, I guess. But while we at it, we normally don't do this, but throw out both of the ones you had as options and then let us know what you're going with. And I'm going to do the same because I still haven't decided.
All right, bet. Let's do this then. So, of course, I don't know if you want me to get a backdrop of the whole Rocky Patel idea, but Rocky Patel just released the new Edge, you know what I'm saying? That classic Edge that Rocky Patel was always been a staple in our humidors for over a decade. Re-release the Edge, the newer version of it, and kind of hyped to go get it, looking for it. Couldn't find it just yet in both of our markets. But I'm like, hey, man, Rocky Patel, especially looking at their selections were so vast. I'm like, there's no way I'm going to walk out of here looking for Rocky Patel and not walk out of here with a Rocky Patel, especially when there's so many Rocky Patels I haven't tried yet. So, hey, let's go ahead and try it. I found some lookers. There's a new version of the Decade. I've tried a Decade before, but this is the Habano Rocky Patel. Box press. Looks beautiful. It's an exclusive, right? So I went with that at a price point of $14. So premium, mid-premium level price, you know. So I expect a good smoke out of that. But then I also have the 1865 project, the inaugural edition from Rocky Patel, Juneteenth. Rocky Patel showing love to Juneteenth, man. So I picked both of those. So much love to him for that. You know what I'm saying? Showing love to Juneteenth, and proceeds from purchasing that cigar goes to the foundation. So that's a lot of love there.
Yeah.
And game time decision, I decided to go with the 1865 project. Mm-hmm.
But look, there you go, man. Look, shout out to Rocky for actually acknowledging that he has a customer base that he wanted to show some love to. You know what I'm saying? Now, I don't know if Rocky's always been up on educated or if he just learned this in the last 2 years. Probably like the rest of the world learned it in the last 2 years. And when I say the rest of the world, I'm not talking about, well, I don't know, even probably some of the average black people didn't know. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah,
I think the ones that, yeah. But a lot of us did know. But for the rest of the world that got hip to this in the last 2 years, shout out to him for actually once learning about it, doing something about it, and showing some love to that demographic of his market. You know what I'm saying? Because
yeah, man.
You know, a lot of time us as black people, we complain about not getting the nod or getting no love from nobody. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that he did it, you know, it's respected and appreciated and saluted. You know what I'm saying?
Respected, appreciated, and we got to show love to it. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to show love to his nod to Juneteenth. So here we are.
All right. So you went with the 1865. For me, I'm still undecided. I got a Rocky Patel Grand Reserve. I always do this and it turns out pointless to do it. But, you know, anyway, Grand Reserve at a price point of $14.80. And I ain't took them out the plastic yet. And we got a Rocky Patel 60 from 1961 to 2021. The 60 year anniversary model here.
Yeah.
And I want to smoke this one simply off the fact it is wrapped so beautifully and so many little wrappers here, and they all just, it's amazing packaging. And this is at the price point $21.50. And I see up here it says, crafted with artisanal precision and care, aged for 2 years.
Nice. I think you got to go there. If we're gonna do this as a Rocky Patel episode, and you're talking about that price point and that 20 and higher, you're premium Rocky at this point. So how can you not on a Rocky Patel episode go premium Rocky?
You're right. Because I was leaning at this Grand Reserve for some reason. My gut is calling me to it, but I will go with this one right here. And hey, it's a box press. You know what I'm saying? Why not?
There you go. Yeah. Well, make me switch up and go with my box press, because the 1865 is not box press, but the Decade is, and Know how I love those box press. But man, I'm ready to go ahead and get them lit, man. Let's go ahead and light them up, man.
I know you don't smell your cigars, man, but this stick, man, just as soon as I take it out, that how you call it? Cellulose? How they pronounce that?
The cellophane,
packaging, the plastic. So whatever the plastic packaging is, yeah, that. Just call it plastic. But yeah, it just cigar right now.
You know what? I think I'm gonna start smelling my cigars a little more. You know what I mean? Go ahead and take it all the way in. It's like, why not? Why not? And it is a great cigar smell. As soon as I brought it out the packaging, that scent hit me. That aroma got going already. So I could tell this one's going to be really, really, really great lit. So I'm ready to go ahead and do it. I'm going to use a torch, honestly. Don't usually torch my cigars, but I'm going to torch it properly. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going to put it right on the blue flame.
What kind of cut did you go with?
Say what again?
What's your cut?
Straight cut on it.
Yeah, same here.
Some telling me I should have went with a V cut, but can't go wrong with a straight cut.
Yeah, you can.
Oh, yeah, you can.
You can easily go wrong with a straight cut. I'm worried every time. And I got a lot of straight cut experience. I was nervous just now. Like, oh, please, that look like you took a lot. Don't take too much. I'd be paranoid, bro.
Yeah, don't clip it too low. I mean, that's a good thing with the punch. The punch gives you a particular depth that you know you're going to get each and every time. Even with the V cut, it's going to give you a particular depth that you're going to get each and every time. Straight cut, you do more so got to know what you're doing. If you're going to get it right and just taking just the right amount off the top, that you're going to get a good draw, but then not taking too much that you're taking off that cap all the way.
Yeah, that straight cut is straight manual. You better know what you're doing. Mm-hmm. You ain't got no help.
Know what you're doing. Yeah, so let me go ahead and run down my cigar real quick. So the country that this cigar is the main tobacco is grown in is Nicaragua. The wrapper is Mexican San Andreas. Filler country Nicaragua. Binder is Honduras and Nicaragua as well. So that's what we got going on. That's the construction of this 1865.
Dope. I messed up just now. I actually had this on one match. I only got 3 in my box. So if this thing go out and I can't get it, we're going to take a pause in the show because I didn't bring my torch.
Gotta go get that lighter.
Yeah. But check it out, right? I had it lit, but I just didn't. I felt like I was going to end up with a bad uneven burn at the rate I was headed. So I went on and used the second match. I trust my game. So worst come to worst,
You know what?
Make it happen.
That's one thing I'm going to give you a lot of props to. This is the difference between me and you for the viewers. You trust yourself with one match. If you look at my setup, I'm gonna be honest with you. When I'm comfortable and I have all my tools that I need, I have matches.
Yeah.
Which either I touch them or I don't. A torch light and a regular Bic lighter. And even just now, as you were talking about your matches, I got my cigar lit with the torch. It gave me going. And then, of course, I'm known for the bad burn. So I got the Bic lighter just doing a little touch up. So each cigar smoker got a different way of going about it. Me, I don't trust myself as much. So if I have 2 or 3 different lighting methods on me, I'm doing what I got to do. So right now I'm with the Bic and getting my little touch ups a little closer to the flame. You know what I'm saying? So just making sure we get it right and making sure this Rocky is treated just right.
I ain't mad at it. So check it out. I'm trying to get the information on my 60 because you just went over yours. And I mean, spoiler alert, I already got the information on, as I was looking for the actual information, all the tasting notes is what showed up first. Normally I see that stuff. That's at the bottom normally. They give you the information on it first. So I've seen the tasting notes already. But
all right. But hey,
Now
look,
it's
but
just a matter
know
of
what
seeing
we're
if I
doing,
match it.
You know what you're looking for. Yeah, you know what you're looking for. And as far as like the tasting notes for me, I didn't cover this yet, but this cigar is one of 3 cigars that Rocky Patel was introducing this year. So out of his new cigars, this is one of 3. So I haven't found too much as far as the reviews that other people are noting. I haven't seen anything like that. I looked at maybe 4 or 5 different websites and haven't seen anything as far as like what I'm supposed to be getting out of this cigar. So this is coming straight, completely left and not knowing what's supposed to come at me. So it's going to be a journey. I have no idea.
That's hey man, that's the most fun way then. So the details on this particular cigar, this one has ratings on it. It's got a 90 score is what and this is straight from aficionado, straight from the Bible. The filler on it is Nicaraguan, the binder is Nicaraguan. The wrapper, however, is Mexican. Interesting.
Okay. Yeah.
As of November 23rd, 2021, this price point was $17. I got it at $21. So I don't know if that's my location or if that's inflation. But I'm going to have to go back and go see my man at the shop and be like, hey, where my $4 at, player? Like, you know what I'm saying? What's this?
Right. Supposed to be priced at 17. Come on, what's going on? Mm-hmm. But yeah, so you got a Mexican wrapper. I have a Mexican wrapper. I'm pairing mine with a tequila mix. So,
well, I'm pairing mine with some iced coffee. Brown sugar butter cookie iced coffee or something like that. I don't know. Pretty good though. It's my first time tasting it right here on the show, and it's pretty good. As far as my initial thoughts on this stick, bro, it's got a taste that was bothering me, and I couldn't figure out what it was. But upon reading what it was, it makes total sense that it was that. Initially, the very first thing that hit my palate was cinnamon. I like that, but so it acknowledged there was going to be some spices there, which is the cinnamon. But the thing that was hitting me that I couldn't figure out, it said it was licorice. And I don't think I ever picked up on licorice in a stick before, but that's definitely what it was I was tasting, and I couldn't figure it out because I wouldn't think licorice when it comes to a cigar. But it was that chocolate and licorice is what it said. Now, I think that's exactly what's combining is like a chocolatey licorice type taste. And I'm not that big of a licorice guy. So
who is?
Yeah. So it's like this is not bad if you like licorice, but for my preference, I'm not a fan of what it initially is hitting me.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But once again, it's still done well. Like, you know what I'm saying? How you can have respect for how something is, you like, what, somebody gonna like this, but this ain't my preference.
We've talked about the spices. We've talked about the leather. We've talked about the oily, you know what I'm saying? All those things that you don't necessarily crave, but then when they do put it in and it's done well, Drew Estate does that very well. A lot of times they'll throw those things in that, might not be, pleasant for my palate, but it's pleasant for somebody's.
Yeah.
But hey, if you're going to do it right.
Yeah. I think they've done it right. But we're going to see about this ride right here. You know what I'm saying? We're going to see.
Yeah, just ride it out. Let's see what happens. So our first light for me, spice is definitely there. But not over the top, not overly done. I'm getting a nice thick smoke right now. So it feels full body right now. But a spice that's done right. Really good aroma. Not really picking up anything else, but that's typical of a Rocky at first. Like most of my Rockies that I've lit, you get that spice off the top, and then all the other flavors start coming in after that. So right now it's mainly spice, but a cool spice, real chill spice.
Cool. Hey man, let's get into some everything else. So as I mentioned earlier, episode 39. There was exists, but it's not out there, right? Mm-hmm. So during episode 39, we shot that together because you came out my way while you was out here.
Yeah.
We tried some different things out here. You know, you first of all, you had you rented a Maserati for your time out here, and that changed your perspective a little bit on a few of these different cars. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to kind of discuss that with you. You've been hard on you've been hard on Bentley from a distance. From a distance.
Yeah.
After renting the Maserati, you was like, all right, maybe I'm gonna take it easy on Bentley a little bit until I actually get in one. What shifted your thought process on this?
Man, so when it comes down to it, right? We go off the eye test, you know, especially from these cars that are big luxury or big exotic that you don't get to sit in every day or you get to see on the road every day. So you only get to witness them or experience them from a distance, right? You don't get that firsthand, first class experience with it. So based on eye tests, in comparison, one what I like and one what I don't like, you just see more so what you don't like or what you don't favor in it until you sit in it and you touch it, right? Because even with the Mozzie, right, we were looking at it as like, man, we don't want to be disappointed by this. It's not hitting certain points that we want in the interior until we got it. And we sat in it and you actually can see the quality, difference in quality. And it's like, okay, all these other smaller cars, the Mazdas and Camrys, they got all these little trinkets in there that ooh, you know what I'm saying? Kind of catch your eye. But then you don't pay attention to those little details where you can tell the quality's put in. So after sitting in the Mazda, it's like, man, I was thinking that this Levante was probably going to let me down, even with the simplisticness, you know. Of course, there were some places that we felt like they can do a little bit better, especially at that price point. But it kind of put things in perspective. Like you can see where the money went. Okay, this is why it's priced up here because this is where the money went,
right?
Instead of this. You know what I'm saying? That's the cheap stuff. That's the
trinkets.
The little trinkets. We can get that easy. But this right here, so that's what I'm thinking. Bentley, man, they might have put some little details. Like it's the small details, man, that they just kind of get you. They make you chuckle a little bit. Like, man, I can't believe they put this little thing right here. Like, really? And Bentley might have a lot of that to where you get that little experience. You sit in it and then you notice this, and it just make you feel a certain way. You get out the car and you notice this, how the door might close or how the windows might roll down. You know, little things like that. That might be what the price is. So I have to kind of lay back on Bentley a little bit until I get that hands-on experience to say, you know what? I can see what they're trying to do. Maybe it might not catch the eye test to me every single time, and I might prefer one over the other based on the eye test. But this is where they put their money in, and this is why it's worth the price that it is. So I just got to reserve myself, man. Got to reserve myself just a little bit.
You know, and Bentley, from my understanding, is kind of respected on the performance level also. You know what I mean? So that could be part of the experience is getting in there and feeling it. You know what I'm saying? Feeling it move down the road.
Oh yeah. That was like it was with the Mozzie, man. Put that thing, put the gas down. You know what I'm saying? Press that pedal. You felt it going, man. It's like, whoo, okay.
Yeah,
this the experience.
When you pulled up to my house, you were nowhere close, and I could just hear something rumbling down my road. And I was like, what? That's got to be him rumbling down the road because I never heard nobody rumbling in my neighborhood like this before. I was like, what the hell? And I come outside, raise my garage door, and there it was.
Get louder and louder.
As it got closer. So, you know, it could be similar with the Bentley, which I expected to be at this point in time. You know, maybe the trinkets ain't what you think, but you know, you're gonna get the quality in other aspects.
And the crazy thing is, the trinkets could be there too. And a lot of these luxury cars, so they like to put these hidden trinkets in these vehicles that surprise you. The other lower price point cars, they put the trinkets right out front to kind of draw your attention.
Yeah.
But a lot of these luxury cars will put the trinkets behind the scenes a little bit. And, you're like, oh, I didn't realize it could do this, and that, and that, and that, because that's not what it's predicated on. This is not its main focus.
Right.
But we still got some of these trinkets that we're gonna put behind the scenes. And if you tap this and tap that and access, boom, wow, look at this. Okay, I didn't know it could do that too. So
you know who I believe, and this is shout out to your favorite brand, but I think Mercedes probably is the best at doing both. Trinkets mixed with quality. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think so too. I think they do a good job of that too.
Yeah, because I think a lot of brands is either or. You know what I'm saying? Unless you get to the highest level of their cars, like
yeah. You go with that Maybach. It got the trinkets. It got the quality. It got everything.
But not even getting all the way to a Maybach. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna start getting that at a. Maybe you can even say an E. You're going to start getting a nice combination of both. You know what I mean? Like, but definitely by the time you get to the S, not even the Maybach S, but just the actual S.
Yeah, you in the S. Yeah, you in the S. You in there.
Everything. But, a lot of the luxury cars do look very basic, but once you get to the high level, that's when you get like a little bit of the trinkets in both of them. But Mercedes kind of gives you the trinkets and the quality. Even in your C-Class, I mean, I don't know about an A. Do the A's give you any trinkets or any?
I can't speak to the A. I don't even look at them, man. I see them on the road. I'm like,
won't even peek inside one, huh?
that's the little homie. That's the little brother. You know what I'm saying? The CLAs and the A-Class. Those are little. You know what I'm saying? The little brothers.
Even every time you've gone shopping for your Mercedes, you don't never just peek inside one of those, the little brothers?
Never. I've never.
What a snob.
I never even considered it.
A snob you are.
Never considered it. Never even hit my radar. Like if they're on a lot and the A's are over here, the CLAs are over there, don't even go that way. I'm sorry.
Fair enough. Can't argue with it. Hey, you know what's funny? We also discovered that quality over trinkets comes with alcohol also. Because we went to go get some tequila and we decided to go with the Clase Azul and we discovered, wow, this is the bottle. Every bottle's not made the same, nor is what's inside the bottle not made the same.
We found that out in a very interesting way. It's like the container that contains the higher shelf alcohol or whatever you want to call it is not the same as the mid shelf, bottom shelf. Even just holding the bottle is different.
The bottle's different, bro.
The bottle's different.
Now, we're big fans of 1800. We like our 1800 tequila and whatnot. And we were like,
Been drinking 1800 for years.
Yeah, let's do the test, And look now, tequila snobs would be like, nah, that ain't the best tequila. That's just popular. Go do this. And it's the same price point, whatever. Yeah. But 1800, we'll say it's popular. So even if it ain't the best, it's the average person thinks it's the best, not the snobs. You know what I mean? And is that being a brand?
Go ahead.
No, it's just a brand that we look at I like it better than Patron per se. You know what I'm saying? So if that's on the same level and it's one of our preferred ones, we put it up against that Clase Azul.
Right. Nobody I know is casually drinking Patron. I don't know anybody who casually drinks Patron. Patron is only consumed in shot form for me. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to pour a glass 1800 or used to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, I grab a bottle 1800 to sip on or some De Leon to sip on. Those would be, when it came down to tequila, those were my two go-tos. I had a lot of love for the De Leon and the 1800. If I wanted tequila, that's where I'm starting there. But we decided to up the game a little bit and let's see what this other level is. And we went with the Clase, man, and just even taking the top off and that weight in the top, holding the bottle, the packaging, everything was definitely top notch. And then we got that first pour.
Yeah.
And that first pour was a difference maker for me. Like we already know, hey, look, package is not everything.
Right.
But when you have that packaging combined with the quality of the product, can't beat it. And that's what we seen. That's what we seen. I mean, that Clase was on point.
We poured it. We both took our sips because we had it in our little glasses. We took our sips and we sipped on it and we looked at each other like,
it's something different.
Was that real? That's real. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's real. Like, you know, we had to hit it again. Now that's the truth for real. Go grab the 1800 out real quick. Let's go test this to make sure we ain't tripping. Like, pull the 1800 out. First of all, the bottles was not the same at that point in time.
Not the same.
The Clase has a classroom bell on the top. You go ding, 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 ding. Just like that.
It's Clase time.
It's Clase time, baby. And that's on heavy. Then you got your little plastic top on the 1800. And I don't want to take a dump on 1800 because you got me through some good time. I like you 1800.
Some good times.
But it was just different. You know what I'm saying? And then you take a sip of 1800 and you like, it's still not bad. But not bad still. But that ain't Clase.
It's missing something.
The taste just ain't the same. The smoothness just ain't the same. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And it was something about it to me, like it was just dressed up differently with the taste I'm talking about. Like the taste was dressed up differently. You had, a lot of times you have to take a drink and have a chaser with it, right? Because it's just the aftertaste or the taste of the drink is not that. But that Clase, like it had body to it. It had some extra things in it that just made you enjoy it along with the alcohol that you were drinking. Like, okay, you're going to get the alcohol, but along with that, there's other notes. It's just like a cigar. You're smoking it for the tobacco, but then you want some other notes to accompany it. And that's what the Clase did. Like it just gave you some extra nuances along with the alcohol that you were consuming. It's like, man, all right, that makes me want to go back for another sip. And then it's enjoyable.
Yeah.
And I ain't had no hangovers. I didn't even feel it in the morning. I can't remember how much we drank of it. That in combination to the champagne that we were drinking. Man, it was, I can't see myself consistently going below that from now on, man.
But and look, get this now. As you said about all the different tastes and notes that you could pick up on it, it was done so smoothly that I have to assume those were all just natural notes from the way it was actually created in the barrel and through the whole process of it. Like, I don't believe there's anything artificially done in that to get that level of smoothness. You know what I'm saying? Like, because
you're not doing anything to stretch it out.
No, because anytime something's done artificially, it adds a little bite. You know what I mean? Like, that Clase had a lot of depth to it without having the bite. You know what I mean? Like, it's literally one of those tequilas you can sit down and sip and be cool. And we drank it hot. We never at no point tried to put a cube in it. Nothing. Like, and it was just a go where it was. Yeah, and on top of that, the 1800 was not room temperature.
Chill.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's chill.
So, and it's
which
still
is going to help take the bite off of it, and it didn't. Yeah, it's levels, man, and quality, and there was a eye-opening situation with those.
But here's the thing. Even in that quality, it still gave you the trinkets. It gave you the trinkets and the taste, and it gave you trinkets in the bottle and the packaging. It made you feel premium, man. It made you feel opulence.
Right. Hey, man, speaking of feeling premium and feeling opulent, let's get into this mid-cigar review.
Okay. Where you at?
Are you picking up any premium and opulence on your end?
I can say, as far as premium, I'm not going to say necessarily premium, but I'm going to say well packaged, well constructed so far. Usually when I smoke a cigar that's not done well, you start to get a lot of that I guess in the burn. Like as you see, my burn is moving kind of slow. We're what 30-some minutes into the show, and my burn is solid. Like I love to get a solid burn. When you start to see that ash draw, and you see the burn that burns slow, and it's burning smooth and easy. That's what I'm getting off of this so far. It's just, and I've been puffing it. I feel like I've been puffing it at a pretty rapid rate, even through the conversation, and it's just. It's I think that's maybe a nod to the binder.
Mm-hmm.
That's the premium part that I'm seeing. As far as the taste, the spice is definitely dialed back a lot. And I'm getting a lot of earth right now. Nothing outside of that, but it's like I'm getting the slow transition. I'm thinking that's because of the burn is slow. The spice is dialed back, and that earthiness is coming in. Those nice, good, strong, hearty tobacco earthiness taste is coming in right now.
Right. Well, for me, I definitely want to give a nod to the construction, because the construction of this cigar is definitely on a premium level. I got an amazing burn going here. Very beautiful burn. Nice, pretty ash on it. Good aroma coming off the stick. As far as the actual tasting notes of it, it's gonna be kind of what it was from the beginning for me. You know, it's
okay.
Yeah, it's the chocolatey, it's the licorice, the spice that I had, that cinnamon dialed back. I wish it would come more to the front again, because I enjoyed that off the initial when it first was there initially. It is a little bit of woodiness that I'm picking up on within it also, that's kind of starting to peek through at this point in time, which is helping out some of the licorice that I didn't enjoy, you know. But
okay,
you know, overall, that's pretty much what I'm picking up on as far as that. But very well constructed cigar, very well constructed.
Yeah. Still getting to it. Like for me, I'm still in that first third, like at the very beginning of that first third. And crazy thing is, each puff is a really thick, full body smoke. I'm getting a really good draw. A smoke with every puff, and it's still burning slow, which is crazy.
Yeah.
You don't usually get that with a lot of cigars. Like if you're getting a lot of thick, heavy smoke, you're usually burning pretty quick. But I'm getting nice full smoke every time I puff, every time, and we still got a slow burn.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Rocky. Rocky gonna do it right, even if you ain't feeling the stick. He gonna do it right.
He gonna do it right either way. But hey, so let me ask this. And we calling this the Rocky episode too. So I had a question as I was going through my cigar selections, right? Mm-hmm. And looking at all the Rockies. Quick point. This is away from Rocky real quick. I'll come back to Rocky in just a second. But Alec Bradley in my normal spot, they're expanding. I've noticed a lot more Alec Bradley. Like they got 2 layers on the shelf now.
Yeah.
Before it was just 2 boxes. Now they filled up one shelf and they got a second shelf now. I'm like, oh, look at Alec getting it in.
Dope. Alec and Bradley doing their thing. But I was thinking about, sometimes when brands, whether it's a cigar brand or whether it's tech or whether it's cars or whatever it is, whatever the brand is, and they get into variety, right? And you get a lot of variety. And I was thinking about this when I was looking at Rocky, because I'm looking at all these cigars that I never tried with Rocky, and they had a lot of different cigars. And we just talked about he's just released 3 new ones this year and got more in the shoot, I'm pretty sure. They're going to keep rolling them out. Is it a point to where too much variety? Would you like to see a company do more focus on 2, 3, 4 things and do that well? Or spread themselves to where you have so many different types, so many different cigars, so many different phones. We know Samsung did that for a good little bit, to where they had so many different Samsungs, but then you got iPhone and they got like maybe 2 or 3 different iPhones, right? But then Samsung has a bunch of different ones. I'm seeing Mercedes get into that too, where they got so many different types of Mercedes now. Mm-hmm. And I feel like BMW, they might have like, a handful of variety. Maserati only got a handful of variety.
I can't speak on Bentley and Rolls too much. I don't know about all their varieties, but I don't think they have a lot of different types of.
They seem to have a handful from my eye, so I would think they fall in line with what you're saying. I know Rose does. Rose only got a handful.
Yeah. So it's less more, or spreading that variety out, because Rocky does a really good job. But do you think it'll become a point to where, whoa, hold on, Rocky, you're doing too much. Let's focus. Or Alec, they weren't doing enough, but now I'm starting to see a lot more different Alecs coming out. I think I saw 3 new ones I've never seen before today. It's like, okay, where are we at? You got some of that ash?
Woo, burn, boy. Hit me right on the wrist.
Got him.
Felt like it was in there solid, too. I thought I had a little bit longer. I got too aggressive on that. Woo. But, man, yeah, to your point, I think either approach is fine, but the approach where you have more variety, it's a lot of risk that comes with that. You know what I mean? And you got to have a lot of trust in your production company and your innovators within it to actually go that route, because there's always the possibility that you start watering your brand down along the way. Like, and with cars, maybe it's harder to do, because if you have one bad release, you just discontinue it and get it off the market.
Right.
And with tech in general, you know what I'm saying? Like, nobody's going to write you off for like 1 or 2 bad releases, you know, but with cigars at the pace that Rocky is rolling out, it's a dangerous pace. He's done a good job with it, but it is a dangerous pace, because that's something that cigars is a place where
Drew Estate's another one that does it.
They do it too, yeah. But cigars is something. If I have 3 bad ones, I can be done with your brand, and that's why it's a risk in the cigar world. You know what I mean? Like,
especially when you have new cigar smokers, and all they're doing, they're just picking up a cigar. They don't know the staples, you know, unless they've been educated by somebody who's already in the culture, been in the culture for years. And I think that's good that Rocky's doing that with the edge, as far as, you know, re-highlighting the edge, you know, because that's a staple. So bring the focus back. Okay, I got bunch of these new cigars coming out, but we're gonna put this edge back at the forefront. Yeah. So we don't forget about this one. You know, so your new cigar smokers or your legacy cigar smokers who's been doing this for a while, hey, let's not forget. Yeah. And I think maybe that might be the key, is like, make sure that you're not forgetting about your core fan base.
Yeah. Whenever your staples, you always got to keep
varieties.
Your staples always got to be at the forefront, and everything got to be the second tier, like those your B squads. You know what I'm saying? You know, you got to keep your starters in the front. You know what I'm saying? And all the second string players got to like
Oliva. I think all their cigars are phenomenal, but they only got a few. You know, you got your O series, you got your V series, you got your Milano, you got just a handful of Oliva, but they're all great. Right. You know, they're not dropping the ball at all, pretty much on any of them, but they don't have a lot of variety. Same thing with like Davidoff. I don't recognize a lot of different Davidoffs, but I'm pretty sure that all their cigars are great. All the ones I've had were great. I only had 2, but they were great. But you don't see a lot of variety. But they're boom, staying right where they need to be.
Yeah. But what you mentioned about you run the risk of a new smoker not knowing your flagship staple cigars and getting into the game on one of your new ones, and it's not really indicative of the brand, you know what I'm saying, and what it really is, you know. So that's the risk you run when you got a lot of little stray cigars out there, you know.
You could become a brick house or a Gurkha off the wrong one to somebody. Somebody gonna call you you're gonna be their brick house or their Gurkha off that one bad cigar, and they write you off. But I guess with a name like Rocky, they be like, nah, they're gonna keep pushing things, and they're gonna be in the forefront to where, man, I keep hearing his name. I got to pick up another Rocky and try this one.
You know, see, that's an interesting thing you say, because I don't know what Gurkha's staple cigar is. So for all we know, we've been smoking all the little second, the second string cigars and the bench players.
They have a lot. Gurkha has a lot. Gurkha has a lot.
So we could have possibly been smoking 12 men the whole time. You know what I'm saying? Pause. We could have been smoking like the last player on the bench cigars, and we just didn't know.
Yeah.
Because we don't know who the star players are in Gurkha.
Yeah.
They don't do a good job of marketing their flagship.
Their flagship.
Yeah. They don't do good at all with that. We've been in the game for too long not to know what's your staple. Yeah. You know what I mean? I keep knowing your name, but I don't know what you're known for.
Yeah, what are you known for? When it come down to Drew, we know what they're known for. We know what their heavy hitters are. You gotta if you're talking Drew, you gotta look at Liga. Got to.
We knew what Alec Bradley's staple cigars once upon a time were. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's very important, man. And yeah, basically Rocky is playing a dangerous game. He does it well, though, at the highest level. And I think he knows what he's doing. I think if anybody's going to pull it off, he's proven he can do it. But it's risky for a lot of other brands. There are brands like Oliva I would love to see spread their wings a little bit.
Expand a little bit.
Yeah, because I like what they do. So it's take a risk. Hey, step out there.
You can take a risk. I think they can afford to take a risk at this point.
I think people who play it perfect is like my fathers. They play it kind of perfect. You know what I mean? Like, they got their staple, but then every once in a while you see like one or two little sidebar cigars, but they don't really go crazy.
But there's at least 3 cigars that you're going to see in every humidor. There's at least 3 cigars from our fathers that you're going to see. And they're going to be good cigars. They're going to be great cigars.
Yeah.
But keeping that flagship prominent and making sure people know what your flagship is. You know what that is? That's a way to stay relevant.
That is a way to stay relevant, man. And that is exactly what the person who came in the question about being relevant did well. You know what I mean? So we'll take that and we'll sidebar right on off to that one. That'll be a nice segue. Nice little segue. 21 Savage said Nas wasn't relevant. Pissed a lot of people off and makes the question of relevancy come into question. So what is relevant?
Yeah, he did.
Now,
what is relevant?
I didn't think that, I'll just jump into it. I'm going to assume a lot of y'all know that he said Nas wasn't relevant and made everybody mad. Y'all know the backstory. But the context I took from what he said, I don't think he meant it maliciously. I think he was just saying, he said he was a good artist. He's a great artist. He's a great artist, but he's not relevant. And I think he meant amongst the youth demographic is really all he meant. I don't think it was no shots on him, his relevancy on hip hop. But, it does make you ask, what is relevant then?
What is relevant?
I seen Bootsy on Vlad TV, and Bootsy was like, Nas, I get what he means, but Nas is relevant because Nas just put out, just got a Grammy last year. Nas still dropping albums and still got his fan base around, and he been out for 20 years and probably half the people that listen to him is dead by now. Cause so he was like, how is he not relevant? Half his fans is probably dead by now. Cause they street dudes from the 90s. He was like, they 30 years later, a lot of them dudes ain't around no more. You know what I'm saying? But he still managed to, when he dropped, there's anticipation from his fan base. People want to hear what he got to say. And he's still being awarded awards from the nominations of award shows and whatnot.
Speaks to me relevancy.
Yeah, he's relevant. In the game, he's relevant. But what demographic are you talking about is the real question.
Talking about? Yeah, and I think that's when it came down to it, was because I think somebody's like, nobody's ready to stream Nas at midnight when his album dropped. And I'm like, there's a lot of people who are ready to who are anticipating that album, Yeah. And I think with the way that hip hop has grown over the last 40 years, 50 years now? Almost 50 years, 40 years?
Yeah.
Is that you have good sized demographics at every era and every age now. Like your biggest is always going to be that 16 to 25 or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Your older teens to your young adults, who are going to be the ones that's hyping you up because they're tech savvy and they're going to be hitting the streams and all that stuff. Those are your guys who are, they know the game and how to run the numbers up, right? Those are the people who are going to run your numbers up, and it's a good number of them. But then there's still a lot of us who are the 30 to 39 to 40 years old. There's a lot of us, who are looking for. Nah, we're checking for them. We're checking for JC. We're checking for the people in the 90s and the early 2000s. Those are who are still going. By the way, and who are still making great music. There's a lot of people. There's millions of people in that demographic, and that demographic keeps moving now. So just because I'm not tapped in with what a 25-year-old is listening to, doesn't mean. So I mean, to be honest with you, if you talk about relevancy. A lot of these young artists, I have no idea, never heard their names before. And a piece of their music, if I happen to turn on that radio station, they're not relevant to me because I have no idea who they are. And there's a lot of people who are a little older than me and a lot of people who are a little bit younger than me who have no idea who these people are. You know what I'm saying? Right. My guys at work, they're a little younger and they're like, oh man, I'm going to see such and such show. And I'm saying, who? Who's that? Come again? And you pull them up. Okay, yeah, they got millions of views and millions of followers. I have no clue who they are. So does that mean they're not relevant? Because I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one, and I'm tapped in with music.
Right.
And I don't know who these artists are. You know what I'm saying? Right. So they're not relevant to me because even though they're popular and they got millions of followers and they selling or getting millions of streams, they ain't relevant to me. Right. I ain't checking for their albums. They got three albums deep, and I never heard one of them. You know what I mean? Does that mean they're not relevant though?
Right. See, and see, the way you break it down is it's a question of relevant to who. And now if we want to just go across the board and make relevant and speak on what relevant is, we can define it. We can say something to the effect of you're only relevant if you can actually change or have an effect on the overall culture of the game. Mm-hmm. And if that's the case, there's only a handful of artists that's capable of doing that. You know what I mean? Like, so are we saying only a couple people are relevant? Or are we saying, and then everybody else is just to their niche? You know what I'm saying? They niche markets.
Yeah.
And even if we get,
and I think what confuses it is popular is not relevant.
Right.
Glorilla. And I know a lot of people love her. She's popular right now.
Yeah.
But what does that mean, irrelevancy?
Yeah. How can you move the culture? You know what I'm saying? Are you moving the culture?
Yeah,
is it possible?
And don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. She might move the culture right now. She might move the needle a little bit right now. She'll have that impact. Fetty Wap had an impact, and shout out to him for coming out or not coming out with it, but doing that song Yams and getting back in the spotlight with redoing that Yams song over the holidays. But Fetty Wap was huge. What 2015? He had the summer, had the whole summer. Mm-hmm. Super relevant for that time, but. Can you call him relevant? No, right. You can't. Not to me. Right. Not at this point. And he was about as big as you can possibly get for a time frame.
Right.
About as big as you can possibly get. He was probably bigger than Drake at that point.
Yeah. Well, and this is the other thing. To me also, even now that's, you know how when you look up what the definition of a word, they got like A and then B or 1 and 2. They have multiple definitions. Here's my part 2 to what relevant can mean. You're automatically relevant to me if you've reached legendary status. Like regardless of if you're currently impacting the game or not, you're always going to be relevant. Like regardless of what, if Nas disappeared off off of all of the screen, you know what I'm saying? Where you don't see him on social media no more. He don't drop no albums. You don't hear from him. If I didn't hear from Nas for another 10 years and he decided to come back, he's relevant because he always can do that as a legend. You know what I mean? Like Lauryn Hill disappears for long stretches, but she's relevant because she can always come back and garner attention the moment she comes back. Yeah. That in itself is relevant. You got
artists who aren't here anymore. Michael and Prince. Yeah. If ever be relevant until everybody who's ever witnessed them is no longer here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Because if they drop some unreleased song from one of them, we would all want to hear it. You know what I'm saying? The fact, once you reach legendary status, you're relevant always, man. Like, it is what it is, man. Like, there's no way for somebody that's one of the greatest to not be relevant. Michael Jordan don't play basketball no more. He'll always be relevant.
Still relevant.
The moment you say his name, it means something. You know what I'm saying?
It means something. So, it rings bells. Yeah, it rings bells.
Yeah. So
does your name ring bells? If you say Nas, does it ring bells? It rings bells.
He's synonymous with hip hop. He'll always be relevant. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's one of the greatest artists of all time. You can make an argument the greatest of all time. And if you believe it or not, fine, but you can't really make a debate that he ain't. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to hear it if you say he's not in the argument or the conversation, even if I don't believe he is. Give him. Nas to me is hip hop's.
You've done too much tonight.
Yeah, to me, he's Nas is hip hop's Prince, the artist formerly known as Prince. Whatever, you know what I'm saying? He's that guy for us in hip hop. He'll always be relevant. Like, I don't care if he drop a brick tomorrow, you know, and don't nobody buy it. It's Nas. He's relevant, you know.
Yeah, because you can always go back and he can always perform those classic songs. And boom, it only takes for him to get on stage one time at an award show and be relevant. You know what I'm saying? Fall back for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, pop on stage, boom, relevancy. As long as, even if you're quiet, as long as I can, like you said, speak my name or I show face or get out there and, you know what I'm saying, interact socially or whatever on social media or whatever, can I garner attention? Your ability to garner attention speaks to your relevance.
Yeah, look at Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle disappeared for 10 years. Every time he popped up at a random club in the middle of nowhere, people talked about it.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I heard Dave Chappelle was at this bar in the middle of the street and 1,000 people showed up to hear him. But he wasn't doing it. Before he was doing his specials. You remember he disappeared after the show and just was like, no specials, no nothing. But you would occasionally hear he was performing somewhere weird. Like, that's relevancy. Like, because I'm not even looking for attention, and people are drawn to what I'm doing.
And that doesn't speak to just being a great artist, right? Because you got some artists that I love. You know,
a lot of great artists that don't get no attention. Like,
you know, he even though he got his podcast now, does he have the same relevancy that Nas has? Nah, not at all. And the list can go on. You can go on for days and talk about it. LL, he hasn't done a record in I don't know how long. When was the last time LL did a record? But will he ever not be relevant? I can't say he won't be. That's LL. Yeah, he's gonna be relevant. You say his name, you're gonna drum up so many different memories of this song, this movie, that TV show. All you gotta do is say the name, and then the attention that it garners is relevancy. Rihanna, is she relevant? Her name came up for the Super Bowl. Boom, she ain't did a song in forever. She drops one song to a soundtrack. Everybody goes crazy that she's coming back. Oh, Rihanna, relevancy. Was she out there, you know what I'm saying? She ain't had a song in 6 years or so. She ain't on stage doing nothing, getting I don't know how much attention or whatever. But as soon as you say
she
Rihanna,
been low key. Yeah.
As soon as you say Rihanna,
everybody want to talk about it. I'm relevant. It don't matter how quiet I am right now. You know what I'm saying? And look, this is the other thing. I think a lot of people get caught up in relevant is based on a particular demographic once again, because everybody looks at hip hop like a young person's game, and it's not a young person's game anymore. Not anymore. It's the same argument for video games applies to hip hop because they came up around the same time together. So the people who made video games and the people who made hip hop exist, who took them and propelled them into mainstream are the same people who are adults now. You know what I'm saying? So in the 80s, those people that was playing video games as kids, when video games first came into the forefront, are the same people that's playing video games now. So you can't look at them like, oh, why this old head playing video games? Well, video games is only hot because I was the one who made them still stay around to this day. Just like with hip hop. When hip hop first came out, it was a young person game because it was brand new and that's who was attracted to it. But those people that grew up listening to it are still listening to it. But they're just following artists that they came up with in other ages. So it's not a young person's game no more. Video games ain't just for young people. Hip hop just ain't for young people. The demographic has expanded because they're now older genres.
And since you're talking about video games, let's go there. Sonic. You know what I'm saying? Who was checking for Sonic before the Sonic movies came out? But then as soon as they dropped that trailer and the stills and whatnot, and like, oh, Sonic got a movie coming. You know what I'm saying? We hype about it.
Yeah.
I got hype about it. I'm
Right.
I'm an adult. You know what I'm saying? But as soon as I realized that Sonic was back and about to do a movie, I got hype. You know what I'm saying? Let's go.
Right.
Mario and them got a movie now. Let's go.
Who is it really for? You know what I'm saying? It ain't just for the kids. It's for everybody that grew up on that. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Mario
It's
has
relevancy.
been touching souls since the 80s. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that movie ain't just for some 6-year-old right now. That's for some dude who's 40 who played Mario his whole life and still playing it to this day. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Ninja Turtles. You make a Ninja Turtle movie. Who are you making it for? For real? Like, yeah, you could be making it for kids, but there's probably some people it mean more to that grew up in the 80s and 90s.
If you can still move the needle, you're relevant. But it's just the fact that people are like, he's not moving my needle. That's not moving my needle. But what needles are they? Are they moving the needle for somebody?
Yeah.
Moving the needle for somebody. You know, and not just somebody, but a lot of somebodies.
Right.
Just because it's not this large group of somebodies, but it's a large group over here that's moving the needle for.
Yeah. It's too much. That's the point. It's too much arrogance in how you weigh your needle versus other people's needle.
No. My needle is to say so. Nah, if it ain't moving for me, it ain't it. It ain't it. Like you said, that's the arrogance, man. Come on now.
Yeah.
It's so many different somebodies now. There's so many different groups, so many different demographics now, and everybody's got their own niche. And like he did speak on this and saying he has a large, loyal following fan base. That means he's relevant. Like he contradicted his statement in the statement he was making. I feel like he got a large, loyal fan base, but doesn't that mean it's relevant?
Yeah, Savage didn't do a good job of breaking it down, and that can happen once again. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times when you just small talking, if you just small talking and whatnot, you ain't always the person you talking to. You take for granted that they feel where you're going in the context of it. But once it hits the internet, you know, then you know what I'm saying? Then people looking for headlines.
Now.
Yeah, I'm chasing headlines and I'm running with it. But the people he was sitting there talking to, I'm sure they felt what he was saying. That's why he didn't feel the need to keep breaking it down to him. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But breaking it down is for
that was his group.
Yeah, but the people that you got to break it down for ain't the people you're sitting with. You got to keep breaking it down for the people that's gonna hear it later on, because there is gonna be somebody when the cameras is out that's gonna hear it and try to attack you for it. But I think he meant well. You know, I heard they did a song together too recently.
They did. I heard it. I wasn't the biggest fan of it just yet. Maybe I have to play it a couple more times, but it is what
you never were gonna be.
But nah, I like 21. You know what I'm saying? I even listened to the whole Drake junk that him and 21 got. You know?
Hey, before we go, did remember I sent you that picture when the album first came out? It said 21 after carrying Drake on this album. Did he carry him or not? And we're gonna end on that note.
In my opinion, he carried him. He said, 21, can you do something for me? He said, yeah, I carried this whole album for you.
Oh, man. Hey, man, let's get into the final breakdown
21
of these cigars,
featuring Drake. Yeah, let's do it, man.
Man, I probably only got halfway into this stick, man. Mm-hmm. So, you know, this speaks to the construction of it. It's starting to kind of go out on me a little bit, and I'm very content with it doing so. I don't mind that. Let's say this, man. I'm going to rate this cigar, and I'm going to rate it on a curve based on not entirely my preference. I'm going to base it on some of the factors that I know that it just did good. You know what I'm saying? So like I say, it was well constructed. It had a good burn. It had a good aroma. The ash is beautiful on it. Like you say about yours, how it burned slow. It burned pretty slow for me also. Even regardless of me getting some nice full body pulls on it, it still gave me a good burn. I didn't care for the particular flavors of it with the licorice.
Okay.
I didn't mind the chocolate. I didn't mind the cinnamon when I got that. And I didn't mind the woodiness, of course. Those are all things I really enjoy in a stick. It was just the licorice part of it that threw me off. So because of that, I'm gonna give this cigar a 4 even. But if I didn't judge it on the other stuff and I just judged it on the actual taste notes of the cigar, I give it a 3.5. But I'm gonna give it a 4 based on the fact that I know it was a good cigar from other factors about it. And we rate 1 to 5 for those that don't know.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. Like we talked about, you're not gonna love every flavor in every cigar, but you can recognize a good cigar when you recognize a good cigar, even with the flavors not being what you particularly look for, or what you particularly, you know what I'm saying, want. Right. But for me, same with my cigar, man. I'm barely out of the first third, man. Like really just tapping into the second third. So we're talking about that construction. So now the Rocky, very consistent in that. Slow burn, good full body pulls. That smoke is definitely there. That aroma got a lot nicer as it burned more. As we got more burn, that aroma really, really became pleasant. And I got a nutmeg type of aroma. Not so much in the taste, but more so in the atmosphere. It went from that spice to a little bit of oak, and the oak kind of stayed. Like I said, I'm barely getting out of the first third, so I'm pretty sure it has a lot more to go and a lot more to display to me. That's what it feels like. It feels like something else is about to shift in there, especially with that nutmeg aroma coming out a lot more. I'm very curious to see how it's going to finish up. So we're going to have to follow up with at least a review in the post. That final review, post finishing the cigar. But it's a really good cigar. I like it. It's definitely one I would probably pick up again if I see it in the humidor. I would grab it and keep it in my personal humidor. I'm gonna go with a 4.1, just a little bit above a 4, 4.1, because I feel like it's about to do something special. Just haven't given it a chance to get there. And it's something I like. It's definitely a cigar I like and constructed very well. This is a cigar you're going to chill with. Make sure you got a good 2 hours, maybe even more, to chill if you want to smoke the cigar all the way through. So if you're going to pick up one of these Rockies, make sure you got some time if you want to enjoy the full cigar. I hate rushing the cigar. I hate rushing. I want to enjoy the full ride if I ever can. So make sure you got a good 2 hour block if you want to smoke your cigar all the way through with these Rockies, man.
Yeah, it looks like you might need 2.5 to 3 for yours.
Real.
An hour for each third. But check it out. Before we close out, man, I'm gonna say this about the Rocky Patel episode versus maybe the Cohiba episode. The Cohiba episode, we were smoking flagship cigars for the most part. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They got higher scores, but we smoked 2 randoms from Rocky, and we both gave them 4s, even if they weren't exactly what we wanted, which says something to the quality the Rocky has. I don't want those scores to be reflective on the brand. That is a good thing that we were both able to see. They were at least 4s and up. And these were random sticks, not flagships, just random sticks. You know what I mean? Like he's putting out. At least
for mine, I know mine's a brand new one. I don't know how long yours been around, but at least I know for mine, this is a brand new rollout.
Mine was 2021.
Okay, 2021. Okay, so it's been out for a year and a half maybe. And this one I think came out in October. So a few months out on the market. Very random. Yeah. Very random.
This is what I'm thinking with Rocky. Rocky is reliable. We've always believed it. This today confirms it, that Rocky is a reliable brand. All you got to do is actually do your research though ahead of time. We're not good for researching our sticks. Rocky is the type of brand. Research what actually you're getting into, because then you'll actually have a high quality experience, because the sticks are going to be high quality regardless, but you got to find what you're into. You know what I'm saying? And then you're going to love it.
Yeah. If you want to truly enjoy it through and through, find one that has what you like in it, and it's going to hit. It's going to meet you at your expectations. I can say that for sure.
There you go.
So shout out to them.
Man, most definitely, man. Shout out to Rocky Patel. Shout out to Sean Kemp, the Rain Man.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
man. Hey, this is the 40th episode of the Cigars and Everything Else podcast.
Hey, before we go, bring back the Supersonics, man. Come on, bring back the Supersonics.
Yeah, man. I don't know why y'all sent them to Oklahoma, man. It's in Oklahoma. Why, man?
Well, man. Yeah. Sidebar. Well, man. Hey, cigars up, man.
Cigars up, man. We out of here. Peace.
Yes, sir.